I think we're going to go ahead and get started with our workshop. So first off, thank you everyone for coming and joining us today for our social media and marketing workshop. If you were here for the past couple of workshops this week, you'll already know what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway for any newcomers. My name is Tanvi, and I'm the business captain of the Robostangs team. And we're going to start off this session by giving a little bit of background information about our team. So, we've been the impact winners at the districts and state levels pretty consecutively for the past couple of years. And we're really excited to share some things that we've learned over these last years with you. So, hopefully, you can implement what we share into your own teams. And that's our goal, to have new ideas and share some new things that maybe you can put into your team through this next season. So what we ask is for this workshop to make it a little bit more engaging, if you could all turn on your cameras and also fill out the form that was sent in the chat so we can send you these slides later on. That would be amazing. I'm going to hand it off to Sanvi, who's our branding lead. Can you give a wave? I've handed off to her to start off the workshop. Um, and one last thing, if you guys have any questions, please, you can write them in the chat and ask them at the end. But also, if you're not able to ask something today, don't worry, because we want to stay in contact with you. So feel free to reach out to our team email or the email that I send out, the email for the slideshows as well. We would love to stay in touch with you throughout this season. So that's always a resource that you have. So now I'm going to hand it off to Sanvi to begin the presentation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sanvi, and I'm the branding lead for this year. Thank you so much for attending this workshop. All right, so we'll get started. So this is the agenda for the day. So first we have the social media content strategy. Then I'm going to cover the content creation. Then I'm going to go into recruitment and kind of how you can grow a sustainable team. Okay, so first off, I want to emphasize the importance of marketing and how it can benefit your team. So specifically in our team, we help market and spread the word about inReach and outreach events. So we can get people informed about our events and get them to participate in them. With finance, we partner with them to get sponsors. So for example, we create the newsletters that we send out to the sponsors. And overall, it just brings both like the build and the business sides of our team and just markets our team's image as a whole. So now I'm going to move on to the social media content strategy. So for this, I'm going to be discussing the purpose of like a specific app in which you can use it and how you can, and the strategy will be showing how you can be successful by using that app. So first off with Instagram. So I think Instagram is the best place to start if you don't have any social media presence because it is very versatile. So you can use posts for flyers or events or even informational slideshows about your team. With Reels, it's basically like TikTok built in. Also messaging is really helpful because you can contact other FRC teams and it's just really helpful to have like there's a bunch of teams on there and it's really helpful to have kind of that relationship with them. I also recommend getting a business account or a professional account. So here's just a screenshot of our team and here's just like professional dashboard that we have. It's free and it's super helpful because it has like detailed analytics about your audience and how well your content performs. So, for example, if you post something, it gives you a report on the exact number of followers that view or even interact with your post. And also shows like how many people that are not your followers interact and if they view, and honestly, just so much more. And then with the target audience for Instagram, it really is anyone. So for your strategy, you want to be active and post consistently. I would recommend like 3 to 4 times if you really want to achieve a goal or like if you want people to attend an event, for example. So I would focus on one thing at a time. I'm going to get into this on a different slide, but it's really important to like stick with one goal and like stick with that. So now for info dump. when you post anything, especially an event that you want people to sign up for, it is really important that you get all the information out at once. So, for example, if you post a flyer and you don't have like the specific location or the specific timing, this isn't really going to interest your audience at all. So, you should really wait till you have all the information and then post it because you only have one opportunity to get your audience's attention. So, you shouldn't really waste the opportunity. And finally, consistency equals good results. And it is really obvious, but it is really important to remember when you're trying to achieve your goal. Okay, so I'm going to move on to TikTok. So when you use TikTok, you should keep in mind that your audience is like likely high schoolers or teenagers. So many of the people that are viewing your content don't really know like what robotics is, what FRC is, and even that teams that like have a business side to them. So I think your content should be used for brand awareness and spreading your team's mission and values. So for creating your strategy, you want to be creating content that is informative, entertaining, and relatable so that you can widen your audience because your audience on here is probably going to be high schoolers that don't really know as much and also other FRC teams. So you want to kind of combine them together. Overall, TikTok is a really creative outlet. So your content can be playful or like a style that your team prefers the most. I also noticed that hashtags help boost content if you're trying to get your content out there. Facebook is very useful for events targeted toward younger children. Here's like one of our flyers that we have that is targeted toward like middle schoolers and elementary schoolers. So this is something like an example of something that you could post on there. You can also use it for team updates. So, for example, if your team wins an award at a competition, you could like you could like put it out there so that people can see what your team is up to. And your target audience would be parents, also sponsors. So your strategy to post on Facebook is you want to post in a way for like specifically for sponsors. You want to post in a way that shows what your team has done with the sponsors' money and gives them reasoning to show why they should continue funding your team. So you want to post like kind of like your milestones, like if you win impact award or something like that. You want to post stuff like that. So finally for LinkedIn, it is used for searching for opportunities. That's kind of really what LinkedIn is used for. Our team doesn't really use it that much, and I don't really think other teams use it that much either. YouTube is decreased in popularity over the past few years because many people are more interested in shorter form content, while YouTube is most known for longer form content. So, but this doesn't really mean that you should stop using YouTube because I know that a lot of YouTube videos have gone successful. Like, for example, robot reveal videos, people post them on there and they do really well. So it's kind of up to you, kind of what content your team decides to put out there and what you are interested in. So my advice is that I think you should start out with Instagram and TikTok and then branch out to platforms that fit best with your goals. So consistency and simplicity is key. So by posting many things at once, you aren't setting a clear goal, and this like confuses your audience. So it is really, really important to try to concentrate solely on one topic because when you're consistent, people will become more aware of your team and your goals, and they'll hopefully likely follow you and they'll learn more about the other aspects of your team. I know this is a pretty simple and straightforward, but it's just really important to stick with. Okay, so now I'm going to be moving on to content creation and kind of like I told you like what apps to use and kind of what type of content, but like how do I actually like do it, make the content? So first, I would experiment with what works and what doesn't. So, like two questions that I would ask is what type of content do you want to produce and what type of style? So, if your team is really oriented like with building the robot and stuff like that, maybe you want to post like time lapses of your team working on the robot or like specific things regarding the robot. Or maybe you like interviewing at competitions or vlogging at competitions, kind of like figure out what you like. I would also take an idea and experiment that with different platforms. So again, using the example of robot reveal video, if you're kind of like unsure where should I post this or like kind of what type of content you want to stick with. So for example, I would do the robot reveal video and maybe put it like a teaser or like a trailer on TikTok that's like probably like 30 seconds or something, and then post that the full robot reveal on YouTube that's probably like 5 or 6 minutes, and you can see like what performs well, what you prefer most, and then you'll know what you like. Okay, so number two, personalize popular trends. So earlier this year, there was a big trend of like coquette and bows and stuff like that. So what our team did, we took the popular trend of coquette and combined it with robotics, or like specifically things we find in the shop. So here in this picture, it's a note with like the bow on it, representing like the coquette trend. So this is good content as our audience on TikTok is other FRC teams or other robotics teams and people that don't really know that much about robotics. So it's using like trends and personalizing them to like robotics, or like here we're in the shop specifically. So that is like good content. Third is taking inspiration from other teams. So this team on the right, this is their original video. And this isn't a trend per se because it like relates specifically to robotics. So it's like a robotics thing, I guess. So what we did, we kind of like got our own props and stuff, and we kind of like did it in our own style. Like we didn't copy it word for word, and we just took inspiration from it. And don't feel afraid to take inspiration because that's kind of what social media is like, taking something that other people do and kind of putting it in and making it unique to yourself. Okay, so now I'm going to be moving on to recruitment and kind of like the process and timeline of how you can get members, because I know a lot of people have been asking questions about that. All right, so this is the timeline. I know that school is probably already started or starting in a couple of weeks. So if you haven't started recruiting new members, this is kind of like somewhere that you can start. So first, a few weeks before school starts, you should start posting flyers and information about robotics online. You also want to reach out to middle schoolers, like the FTC teams, with all your information because they've done robotics before. They're likely to do robotics again. And kind of like the theme that you want to be putting out is why should you join? So if me, for example, if I'm really interested in marketing, for example, but I have no idea anything about robotics, I have no idea that they do business, like you as a team should be going to them and being like, oh, you can expand your marketing skills. And that's why I should join because I like marketing. Next, I would hang flyers around your school and attend any club fairs that they host. Go to classrooms and talk about your team. So if you're looking for coding members, or if that's like an area that you're lacking in your team, I would go to a coding class. I would put on a quick presentation, or maybe ask the coding teacher to talk about robotics and how people that are interested in coding can expand their skills by joining robotics because you can do this, this, and this. So I would continue posting on social media and even have current members or even past alumni talk about their own experiences and how robotics impacted their career. So people joining robotics will know that they can further their skills. I would also make sure to market toward the type of members that you're looking for. So if you're like lacking in business students, I would like very much focus on that, those students specifically. Finally, I would contact your district to expand knowledge of your team like further. One of the things that our team did is or that we're doing is that for high school we have like a weekly newspaper that comes out. So we put our information in there. We have like an info night, so we put our information about that so that that people like high schoolers can join it and they'll be really interested in that. I would also host an information night explaining all subgroups of your team. So what we do, we kind of have like a 5 to 10 minute presentation about each subgroup that we have. And we kind of just talk to students about it. and so that they can learn more information about our team so that they can hopefully join. Okay, so that's basically it. I hope you all learned something and hopefully can implement something that you've learned in this presentation. If anyone has any questions, you can go ahead and ask.
So just to share, so it'll continue on the recording. Allison said that their team mostly recruits from Club Day, and Suzanne said that they attend events hosted by their town, and they attend different schools once the school year starts. So recruiting teams from maybe middle schools, is that what you were saying?
No, we'll go to high schools. We can draw from the schools from around all of our area because we're a community team. So we'll just go to different high schools to recruit members. We haven't gotten into pipelining from the middle schools yet.
Okay, okay. Anyone like to share something that they do on their team that might help other teams when you're starting off with the whole business side or anything? So, Kaya, does your team also do that with getting students from different schools as well? Or is it mainly just from one school?
No, we can only do from one school because I don't know.
Is
It's
it
only
smaller?
our school is pretty small, but we're not. I don't think we're allowed to go to other high schools and get other students or something.
Oh, okay. So I'm trying to help you out, Rakaya. So what is the typical recruitment process for you? Is it currently like when do you start recruiting members?
As soon as we, honestly, like the beginning of the year, because we just started. We just like the team was just started last year, so it's our second year.
Okay. So how many students would you say like is in your high school? Like incoming freshmen maybe? Because what we do is we target our incoming freshmen and we host, like Sandri said. Sandri, do you want to go back to the recruitment slide maybe?
Yeah.
So, have you tried hosting like an event where you kind of show people what robotics is about or like what you do on your team? I feel like for new students, like learning what your team does and all of these great things that they're able to learn, that's when they really get engaged and want to join a team. Do you do anything like that right now?
We haven't really done anything. I've been trying to but we haven't really had the time since
Yeah.
last year I had all my SAT and like things, so I didn't really have time to.
That makes sense, yeah. Maybe trying to hold like something like an information night for new incoming freshmen. Um, you can attract more members that way. Let me know if that goes well. I'm curious to know how that goes, but
Okay, yeah, I think we can do that because I just had an idea of doing that in our because we have for like freshmen, we have a day for them to like come in before school starts, and I think we can open our because we have a classroom just for robotics. I think we can probably open it.
that's a great way. Yeah, like if there's an orientation for
Yeah,
freshmen to kind of look at the high school or something like that, maybe you could set up a booth and bring them to your room wherever you do robotics and show them the shop or show them the machines that you get to use. That's a great way to do stuff.
yeah,
More
yeah.
members. Yeah. And Suzanne also said that if you're a community team and a nonprofit team, you can get a lot of programs for free to assist with social media and marketing. Maybe, I don't know, is there like Adobe Illustrator? Um, do people get that for free? Is
Yeah,
there?
you can Adobe Pro. You can get Adobe Pro, all of your Google, all of your YouTube Premium, all of that for free.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Canva for free. Yeah, Canva as well.
Is there a link to apply to that somewhere?
Everything I have is Canadian. You guys are American. I have no idea.
Okay, right.
Yeah. It's called TechSoup here in Canada. I don't know if there's an equivalent in the States, but TECHSOUP for nonprofits.
TECHSOUP.
Yeah.
I'm gonna type that in the chat if
I don't know if it works for you guys though. That's the only thing.
yeah, I would investigate that too. That sounds great.
Yeah,
Yeah, it says TechSoup Canada. I don't think it's American, but I'm sure you have an equivalent.
Mhm.
It just has everything we can get for free as a nonprofit. And then you tell them what you want, and then TechSoup reaches out to the company and then gets you a code. We
Okay.
also get SolidWorks too for free through First. So, I mean, there's lots of stuff that you can get. Most of the stuff obviously we get for free is for marketing and social media, which is great. It allows us to put the videos together and stuff. I also use CapCut for everything too, which is owned by TikTok.
Oh, yeah, yeah.